guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Elise from Discovering Elise, and this is kind of like a part 2 of the previous vlog where we are in Washington DC and we are about to go and experience the African American Museum. Now I didn't talk much in the vlog. I was just recording as I walked through, but I'm going to do voiceover and try to explain a little bit of what we were seeing while we were walking through. If you just want to look at the walkthrough, you can turn the volume down. If not, you can just listen to me try to commentate this vlog. This museum was so big. Oh my gosh, it had about around 4 floors. So we started at the top floor. Netta actually told us that we were supposed to start at the bottom and go to the top, but we started at the very top. Each floor has so many exhibits. It was just a wonderful experience. This floor that we're on right now is all about African American music and our influence in all the different genres. You'll get to see like some memorabilia from different artists. It's pretty amazing, guys. They went through all the different years, the decades or whatever of different music. Like I know my parents were into the Motown era, Sam Cooke, all of these, Patti LaBelle, all of these people here. And then it's gonna go all the way to like hip hop. It's pretty cool. This one floor, I mean, like we could have stayed on this one floor for hours. But yeah, guys, so we'll go through the different floors, and if I see anything I need to like mention, like see there's like Little Richard's jacket. If you guys know who Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, that red car when we first came in was Chuck Berry's car. It was nice and clean. It was nice. Their guitars, their actual like outfits. I think we'll pass like Luther Vandross, his outfits. It's going down to like Tina Turner, rock and roll era. This is pretty amazing, guys. So I'll pick back up and do like a little voiceover when we get to the certain floors. Oh, that's Prince's outfit. If you guys know who Prince is, that's Prince. I mean, I know you know who Prince is. So you see the funk era, the go-go era. This right here was Patti LaBelle's. She was in the Thunderbirds or the Nightbirds, and that was her outfit. But wait till you see the front of it. I think I recorded the front of it. It's barely nothing there. You wouldn't even think that they dressed like that back in the day, but they did. So how they dress now is not too different, except for the cape and stuff. Yeah, guys, so enjoy the walkthrough. I'll play a little music for you guys. Oh, that there is like the mothership, if you guys know about the funk era. So this area right here is like the blues and the jazz and the bands and stuff. And I was asking Sean, like reminding myself But yeah, fun fact, all my kids played an instrument in the bands in school. I also played an instrument. I played the clarinet in the marching band and symphonic band in school. My dad, he was in a band. He had his own band back in the day. So he plays the guitar. Well, he played the guitar, the bass guitar. And yeah, guys, so I try to get my kids to play an instrument. So I was just saying, Sean played the trombone. My other twin played the trumpet. Then Mandela, who y'all call Mandela, he played the drums. My oldest son Josiah played the saxophone, and Jamaica plays the violin.
James Brown.
And she played the violin and a little bit of the cello for a little bit. She didn't continue it. She stopped in middle school, but the others did in high school, and I did in high school as well. But look at the front of that outfit. That's what I was talking about. Patty LaBelle had that outfit, just the little covering up the main parts. That's crazy. And we think the outfits today are like super skimpy. But now it's getting to like the hip hop and the rap, the 90s hip hop, the rap. You're going to see like a boombox, all this stuff like the mix tables, the turntables, the DJ equipment. I just thought this was super cool because this is kind of like getting into my era, the 80s, the 90s. Saw a little bit of Salt and Pepper, got the Brad up there, got some Aaliyah up there, and in the back they had like records where you could like play like vinyl records. You can play like little clips of it so you can hear some music. I thought this part was really cool as well. But yeah, like the boombox is like right there. Ain't that crazy? And the clocks, like remember Flavor Flav used to wear those big clocks on his neck, talking about breakdancing here. Yeah, guys, we could have stayed on this floor for a long time, which we did stay on maybe 45 minutes almost, just on this one floor because it was so much to look at. So much to look at. See the vinyl records there. My dad, I have some old vinyl records of my dad's too, that I got when he passed. But yeah, it's crazy. I have to get a record player though because I don't have one. But I was telling them about the vinyl records, and then it went to like 8-track, and then it went to cassette tapes, and then CDs, and then it went like digital on your iPod. It's just crazy. Like I remember getting in my dad's car and him having an 8-track. Ain't that crazy? All right, I'll pick you guys back up in a minute.
Here's my honesty, my work undressed. Legs stretched across piano, traded like cattle, break like animal, left for dead. Sun drive for inspiration, and love with the idea of living long enough to simply write about it. Push it out my body and watch my son slowly grow into it. You said you want a poem. Now what you gonna do with it?
We had to make our own. That's the way it was.
It only had a little bit of the activism part of our history. I wish it would have had more, like about the sit-ins, the walks, all of that stuff. It talked a little bit about how media influences how people feel about things, and that's still true today. Now we're getting into the sports section. It was a large section about sports, and how, we influence the different sports.
Today, Jordan brand shoes still account for more than half of the basketball shoes sold in the United States.
It's gotta be the
Michael Jordan lived about 10 minutes away from where I lived in Wilmington, and his high school that he went to was one of my rival high schools where I grew up in high school in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Saw African American quarterbacks weren't deemed to possess, to borrow Al Campanus' infamous logic, the essentials, to be able to mentally process information and lead a team, to be a leader.
It's hard to believe that the first African American coach in the modern football era was in 19.
This area talked about Bethune-Cookman. This is a college that Jamaica is super interested in going into. It's a historically black college and university, HBCU. That's a statue of her. So it talked about all of the things that she did for black women. A lot of good information here about the school and about black women in our culture and HBCUs. So this one I got interested because it talks about nursing and nursing education and midwifery, and that's like an old nurse gown, nurse uniform. And I was just telling them that I can't remember where I put my nurse hat, because we got a hat like that once we got pinned as nurses, as registered nurses. I just talked a little bit about nursing school. I thought this part was interesting for me. area was about all about the war memorabilia, the different wars, and I was just letting them know that my dad fought in the Vietnam War, and I was just looking at that information, and also found out that he was a POW. Recently found that out.
As the war raged on, the pressure.
That's what I was looking for right here. That one. Last war, the Vietnam War, that's the war my dad fought in when he was in the Air Force. And I recently found out that with his papers, when I got his papers to get his headstone, that he was a prisoner of war. I didn't know that. They had on there that he was a prisoner of war. So that means he got caught or tortured or something like that before he got out. He never talked about the military. He never talked about the Air Force, being in the Air Force and what happened to him. But I know he had PTSD from it, and he used to wake up like screaming every night. So that's why. Here's some information about South Africa that I didn't know, that there was a slave ship that sank off the coast of Cape Town. So somewhere in the ocean there is a slave ship or remnants of a slave ship near Cape Town. So we are on this elevator going down, going back in time. So it says today, 2008, going on down to, and it's going to take us all the way back to the times of slavery. So we are going to the very bottom of the museum. This is where we were supposed to start. So guys, we have now made our way to the very bottom of the museum, and this is talking about slave trade, where on the west coast of Africa we were brought from. It just talks about some different queens, and then it shows like how they had like us enchained, or the men, looks like it was the men that they had like with the chains around their neck, walking this area. You know, this area was very difficult to walk through, to say the least. This image is how we were transported on slave ships, how they had us lined up, my ancestors lined up, and on these slave ships. And this image showed the points of arrival in North America through the routes of the slave trade, coming from Lake West Africa on around a little bit of Southeast Africa, Madagascar, on around to the Americas.
When Africans arrived in colonial Europe, they encountered different environments and varying slavery. From rocky coastlines to dense swamplands, massive forests, and expansive coastal plains.
And then that's how many slaves were transported by 1725, and then 1775. Oh, yeah. They also said down here in this area there used to be a old reenactment or a replica of a slave ship, and that they would let you put the shackles on or see how that felt, but they removed that. Yeah, so, and a lot of the information was not mentioned in the museum. That's what I didn't like. It's just like they're slowly taking away our history and the history of what actually happened to make other people feel better, if you know what I mean. So like they're trying to take it out of history books and everything. Oh, this is where all of these words down here, these are names of different slave ships and how many slaves they transported and where they transported them to. Yeah, but like I was saying, like they're trying to remove our history. They're trying to remove it. They've already taken this stuff out of textbooks in schools here. Eventually, if we don't pass this down to the younger generations, eventually it's going to be erased.
and to provide a luxurious lifestyle, regardless of the moral issue of enslaving another human. Olada Equiano was kidnapped and enslaved at age 11 and taken to the Caribbean and the Americas. Equiano endured the horrific experience of New World enslavement. In his autobiography, he recalled, "In a little time after, amongst the poor chained men, I found some of my own nation, which in a small degree gave ease to my mind."
And it talked about over here slaves being transported to the Chesapeake area, the Virginia area, North Carolina area. That's why I picture that. My dad's side of the family is from the North Carolina, Virginia area, so I may be able to trace back some of my lineage here. So I may go and look that up one day. There is a museum that's in South Carolina that helps you to trace back your lineage back to your ancestors that could possibly go back all the way back to like slave manifestos with names. So I may look into that one day in the future.
During the 1830s, Isaac Franklin and John Brumfield amassed enormous fortunes as owners of one of the most successful slave trade companies in our nation.
And it says they sold one Negro boy for $5. People in Prophet area, that area, I had like a little standing block where they would auction off slaves, and it talked about the auctioning process and how they sold and bought slaves. It had a picture of like a baby dangling from its foot. I mean, some of the pictures I didn't show because they was kind of like, whew. And then over here is talking about, you know, the black women taking care of the slave master's children in the house. It had like a little cabin that kind of depicted like a slave quarters. Yeah. And this baby here, it looks biracial. A lot of the women were raped and impregnated by their slave masters. You see down there at the bottom looks like the back of a woman that was beaten, whipped, and the skin was coming off the bone.
God just told us about God, and that there was a better place hereafter. We would sneak off and have a prayer meeting. My mother, she sang and prayed to the Lord to deliver us out of slavery.
The only person that ever ran off was my mother. He said she was going to try.
This wall, just a big image of cotton fields. How the slaves used to have to pick cotton. My dad said he even picked cotton. My dad passed when he was 77. Yeah. And my grandmother has told stories about her working, and told stories about her parents and grandparents being slaves, family members being slaves, because my grandmother is 97 now, so she's lived through so many years, so many decades, so many different time periods in American history. It's crazy. So now we missed that whole part on the right hand side. It was like another like cabin, and there also was a train up there, an airplane, talking about how we contributed to the transportation industry, the aviation industry. But we missed all of that. We didn't even go up there. We didn't go because we had been there so long, and we were supposed to meet up with my son and daughter-in-law. So so yeah. We missed a whole section of the museum. And so forth. This area, you're supposed to come in here and just kind of like decompress all that information that you just saw. The water, the sounds, the sounds of the water is supposed to help cleanse you, cleanse your thoughts, cleanse your mind, and elevate your mood. So we stayed down here for a moment just to clear, because that what we walked through was some heavy stuff. And of course you had to take a few pictures. I mean, you know. This next exhibit was about Afrofuturism, like space and all this galactic kind of stuff. So yeah, it was kind of cool. And then it also had some of the theater, the arts on the other side. So yeah, this was pretty cool in here as well. And guys, when we first came in, the lady at the front was like, oh my gosh, you got to make sure you go to the Black Panther exhibit because it's going to be closed tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. Child, I thought it was going to be like this huge thing. You'll see what it was. And this exhibit talks about all of the senseless acts of police brutality and lost lives that we've had here in America. It says, hands up, don't shoot. This was some marches for Trayvon Martin. Yeah. That was some more heavy stuff. But yeah, they had a casket there that was I think it was Trayvon Martin's. No, I'm not sure, but if I can figure it out, I will post it, on the screen. But the casket it was made of mirrored glass, and it's supposed to like symbolize that when you look at the casket, you can see yourself, and it's supposed to symbolize like you could be the next one. And you saw that little clip of George Floyd as well. You see the Black Panther right there? That's all it was, just that little bit, and then like the little display of Wakanda, that is the actual place. That's it. You see that picture was like a picture of KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. Sorry. And this exhibit room here was all about the TV, arts, movies, all the different TV shows, and how Black Americans contributed to the television, the arts, all the different iconic shows in living color, Oprah, Bernie Mac, the Cosby Show. It was so many different shows, and actors and actresses, brilliant actors and actresses and artists. They contributed to entertainment, television entertainment. So this was a very interesting room as well. The Jeffersons. Good times. And then on the other side of this room was another room that had like the opera, the theater, the live shows that Black actors had contributed to, like the plays, like the Wiz, the theater arts. So that was really nice, but I didn't get that on film. This quilt was symbolic in itself because that's what we're all striving for, freedom. This area right here talked about the Freemasons, and then it moves on to show a little bit of the Divine Nine. Talks about the HBCUs and the Divine Nine and how it contributed to our culture. It also talked about some different colleges and everything, but the Divine Nine is the sororities and fraternities of the historically Black colleges and universities. So guys, that was the African American Museum. I'm probably going to end this vlog right here and then start a new one for anything else we see, because that was a lot of stuff in there. It was a nice museum. I really feel like it should have been more of the aspect of slavery and all the stuff we've been through, and more of that era versus a lot of like the entertainment and so forth. But it was nice. It was really nice. It was super huge, a lot of information. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and then I will pick you up on the next one.